it's Linnea here for icrafter. Today I'm going to be creating a classic holiday card using the new Scotty holiday die set along with the Buffalo Plaid stencil. Both of these combined together make an adorable project. So let's go ahead and get started with the background. I have sprayed the back of the Buffalo Plaid stencil with a temporary adhesive so that I can add some ink over my stencil without that stencil moving or shifting. I'm using my eye brush blender brushes, and I'm going to add a gradient of red inks onto the stencil. So I'm starting on the bottom of the Buffalo Plaid stencil, and I'm using a dark red color. And in the end, I'm actually going to come over this dark red color with a bit of brown to even deepen that red a bit more. Then I'll come in to the top with a brighter red color, maybe a more cherry or traditional Christmas red color. I've wiped off my stencil, but I have not moved that. I haven't removed my stencil from my cardstock, just wiped it off with a cloth. Now I'm taking some glitter spray, and I'm going to spray this over the stencil, and this is going to add just a bit of shimmer. You could use a texture paste or a glitter paste over this, but I really wanted my background to remain just a tiny bit subtly shimmery. So that's why I went with the spray, and you can see here it is very subtle. In real life, you can see it a bit more than you can on camera, but it is quite subtle. I've taken the Scotty Holiday die set, and I die cut the little puppy that's kind of running to the right 3 times. There's 2 Scotties in this die set, one that's kind of running like this one, and then one that's sitting. I thought, how cute would it be to have little Scotties running across my card, kind of reminiscent of reindeer jumping across my holiday card. So instead of reindeer, we're going to go with little Scotties. I die cut 3 of them from white cardstock, and now I'm just going to come in with some markers and add some shading. I'm using cool gray markers, so I started with a C3 and then I'm blending out again with a C1, and it just wasn't dark enough. So I ended up using a combination of C5, C3, and C1 and just a tiny bit of colorless blender to bring in some color around the outside of each of these 3 Scotties. I also die cut the little eyes from some black cardstock, and I die cut some little bows for their collars from red cardstock. There are 2 sizes of bows in the Scotty Holiday die set, and I happened to like the smaller bow a little bit better. So I will glue a little bow collar onto each one of these little Scotties using a bit of liquid adhesive, and then set those aside to dry. I put the same size bow on all 3 of the dogs. I did debate having the middle dog have the bigger bow and the 2 outer dogs have the smaller, but I decided to keep it consistent in the end. I'm going to kind of lay these out across my background here. That glitter spray doesn't take long to dry at all, so it's completely dry now. And then I'm going to mess around with, do I want them running straight or do I want them kind of arched? And in the end, I decided to go with arched, but I thought my background needed something else. It needed a frame, something just to kind of contain the scene a little bit. So I used the icrafter Slimline Windows die set and cut out this Slimline Windows die. But of course I didn't want all of those tiny little windows on the inside. I really just wanted the frame. So I used my scissors and I snipped around and just cut out the inside. So now I have this frame that's going to frame up my card. I took the Scotty Holiday die set and I die cut the word cheers from red cardstock to match my background. But it was a bit too matchy-matchy, and I cut it from black as well, and I didn't like the look of the black, and white didn't stand out either, so I decided to create my own shadow. So I cut that cheers from red, I used liquid adhesive, and I used my eye-grip flathead tweezers to help me hold that cheers die in place, and adhered that onto a piece of white cardstock, and then just bubble cut around to create a shadow. I added some foam tape behind my Slimline Windows die set frame, the one that I altered a bit by cutting out the centers, added some foam tape and added that on top of that Buffalo Plaid stenciled background. Then I'm just going to use my scissors and trim away all of the excess of that background that's hanging off. From there, I'm going to go ahead and use some foam tape and pop up these little Scotties, and this is where I kind of decided to arch them. I thought they would look more reminiscent of reindeer if I had them kind of flying over the cheers sentiment this way. I popped everything up with foam, including that cheer sentiment I added with a double layer of foam so that that's really kind of mounted up. And then as I was looking at this, I decided to bring in a little bit more red. So this framed piece here is about 8 inches by 3 inches. So I cut a red frame, 8 1/4 by 3 1/4 inches, and mounted that onto an 8 1/2 by 3 1/2 inch slimline card. And this project is finished. I hope you enjoyed this. Remember that you can head to the icrafter website for more inspiration, as well as to the icrafter YouTube channel for more video tutorials. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you again soon. Bye!